Okay, so this is part 2 of how to get your unclaimed funds from the government. And if you didn't see my first video, go take a look. It tells you what sites to go to check and see if the states are holding any of your money. All right. So I put in my claim because the state of California has over $500 in funds that they've been holding of mine in different forms. So some of it is stocks from a company that I was with. Another was a bank account, an old bank account that I had closed and still had some money left in. Um, what was the another one was I think some money out of a 401k. So different things like that. So let's take a look at the email that they sent and the instructions. So we see the next steps. All right, so let me share my screen and go ahead and get out the way, get out the way, get out the way. All right, that was a little bit too far out the way. Okay, Nicole. So I got the email. I'm filing with the state of California, so mine's came from ca.gov. So you know it's official. All right. Now I'm gonna just summarize the letter. They send my claim ID number. They let me know that it was filed with the Unclaimed Property Division of the California State Controller's Office. They sent my instructions, which are attached, and I have 45 days to respond and send the requested documentation, or the claim may be denied. And for security reasons, you can only upload your documentation in the portal that they send or mail it to them. You cannot email your documentation. So for me, their portal is claimit.ca.gov for California, I should say. Claimit.ca.gov. You can also go there to check your claim status. So let's take a look at the attachment and the instructions. All right, so let's just read what this is all about. It says California may have unclaimed property belonging to you. To claim your property, provide the documentation listed in Section B on this claim form and return it with the required documentation. So we'll look at Section B in just a moment. So, about California's unclaimed property. California law requires businesses to submit property to the state for safekeeping if there has been no activity on the account or contact with the owner, generally for 3 years. So, they're holding the money for 3 years, then they got to send it over to the state. So, the property is held for safekeeping until claimed by the rightful owner or heirs. Properties can include, but are not limited to, bank accounts, uncashed checks, stocks, bonds, and the contents of safe deposit boxes. Now, it could take them up to 180 days or 6 months to process your claim. So you want to file it and get it in as soon as possible, because it could take them a long time depending on how many claims they have to go through. So now also, if you have an outstanding debt with a California state agency, county, or city, your unclaimed property payment may be intercepted to pay that debt. So don't forget that the government is always going to get theirs first. All right, so now they're just summarizing all my claims. Boom, boom, boom. And it came up to $519.98 total. So now, here's the instructions to claim it. So to claim these funds, please return the required documentation listed below. So they send the actual link to upload the documents to. So, or I can mail it to the state controller's office at that address listed there. What do they want? So they want proof that I am associated with the address or the business that has my funds. They want my social security number and ID, even though it doesn't say it here. They also want ID. And they want proof of your current address. So proof of your current address is easy. Get a utility bill or bank statement or something like that to show them your social security number and ID. Of course, you know how to send a copy of that. Now, proof that you are associated with the address or the business that is holding your funds might be a little bit harder, because it might be a really old address. You may not like on mine, for instance, this address I haven't lived at in maybe over 15 years. So I don't have any current documents that relate to that address. And Comcast Corporation, I didn't technically work directly for them. They bought the company that I worked for. So I can't even prove association with them. But, and they hold in the most of the amount of money. So I really need that. So I'm probably going to have to use like a credit report, pull up a credit report that should list all of my addresses, my prior addresses, and I can show proof that I'm associated with the address. So that's just a little one way that you can possibly show your association. You know, if you got old check stubs or can show any record that you are associated with that business that's holding your funds, then they will go ahead and process your claim. So I also looked up the guidelines for the unclaimed properties. So let me pull that up here. So the guidelines, of course, went more into detail, and I went through the whole document. It was 21 pages, and so I kind of summarized it with what I told you just a moment ago. Basically, they're gonna want a copy of your ID, your social security number, proof of your current address, and you have to prove and show evidence that you're associated with the account that you're trying to get the money from, right? And so it's broken down. So the guidelines breaks it down depending on what type of property you're claiming. So property type. So if you're claiming, so let's say here, it says if you're claiming money from a savings or a checking account, they want you to provide an account statement, a bank passbook, or correspondence listing the account numbers. Now, if you don't have that stuff, if that is unavailable, then you can show proof of residence at the address shown on the account as reported to the state controller's office. So that goes back to what I said before. You may not have an old account statement. You may not have an old document showing that you had that bank account or that you own those stocks or that you had this insurance policy. You may not have those documents, but you can show proof. I'm sure you can show proof that you did live at that address. No matter how old that address is, there's, you know, I don't keep, I, I've lived at a lot of different addresses, and there's record of it somewhere. I get an old bill or something. So that's what you need to show proof that you lived at that address. So for me, the easiest way that I can think of to do that would be to pull your credit report, and you might have to go to like LexisNexis. You might have to go to one of the behind the scenes credit bureaus to get a listing of all those years back of addresses, depending on how long. You know, I've been around for a long time. So when I say all those years back, like my shit is 50 years old. I have been roaming this earth. Okay. So I got a lot of addresses, a lot of jobs, a lot of stuff. Okay. But I cannot prove that I worked at a job that I worked at 30 years ago. I may not have any document around that shows that, but I can prove all the addresses that I have lived in all of my life. And I can prove that by pulling my credit report. So that's just the advice I'm giving to y'all. Let me see, is there anything else? There can be money from y'all need to check y'all accounts. Go to missingmoney.com. That and you can check all the states. Go to unclaimed.org, and you can check yourself, your family, anybody you can think of. There might be a lot of money sitting there. Oh, and it's another thing, they used to pay interest because they're holding your money. When they hold your money don't just sit. No, they are like using that money to like invest in stocks and different stuff like that, right? And then when we need it or when we claim it, they give it to us. It's just like our bank accounts, right? Our money in our bank accounts ain't really there. It's not really just sitting there. They use that money and they invest in stocks and in bonds and all these things. So they make money on our money, right? And then when we come and withdraw our money, then, no harm, no foul. They've done what they needed to do with it. Now you can go ahead and take your $20 out that account. They ain't tripping. So it's the same with this. They are investing your money, and they used to pay you interest on the money for sitting there because they're actually holding on to your money and it is growing, right? But they don't pay that no more. So why did I bring it up? I don't know. I just wanted to rant. Just wanted to rant. So I think that is. Oh, let me show you the claim form that you need to turn in. This is, of course, again, California. So this is a sample claim form. You can see how simple it is. Your last name, your first name, your social, your address, phone number, your signature, your driver's license number, um, last name or business name, first name. So that would be your spouse. So it would be for you or a spouse. So they only got room for two people. So let's say if whatever they're holding belongs to more than one person. Let's say you got a life insurance inheritance from your parents' estate and it's left for three kids, right? Well, all three of you guys can would have to claim that money together, right? But this form only has space for two people's information. So you have to attach another form and it has to be the right form. You can't just attach any old thing, right? So you have to attach another form for the third person to send over their information as well. All right, so you can see how simple the form is to fill out. They just want your basic information and declare that you are you and under penalty of perjury, you not lying about none of this. And boom, send it in. There's more forms here, like what you see here is not part of the claim form. This is if table of heirship is if you're claiming it for somebody who's already deceased, right? Then they have a form. There's also a form. So this one says holders claim for reimbursement. So if you cannot prove to the state that these are your funds, this money belongs to you, you can't show proof that you were ever at that address. You can't show proof that you were ever associated with the company. You can't prove it to them. But let's say the company that's holding your money, they know, they have record of you. Well, you can actually go directly to them and get your funds from them, even if it's too late, right? So even if it's after the 3 years, they're not holding it anymore. They sent it over to the state and the state has it, right? But you can't prove it to the state that it's yours. Well, you can go to the business that's holding it. They can pay you and the state will reimburse them. That's what this form is for. So that's, that's the worst case scenario because I don't know how good that's going to fly for any business, but they're going to get reimbursed for it. So it's an option. Just letting you know it's an option. Let's see. Anything else? Am I missing? I think that's it. So go out there, search, see what kind of money is out there. And there's more sites, you guys. This is just the first one. There's Indian money. I'm gonna share that site with you. There's, you might have. There's other sites. So there's more ways to claim funds that might be out there for you. So just keep watching. All right. See you next video.